It's not the same day as it was in my last video, and you can tell because this is grown out. It's been almost a year to the day since I got rejected from the first of a series of 8 MFA programs, and I've been thinking a lot about grad school and my future lately, so I wanted to make this video both as a time capsule for me and how I'm feeling about that, and also as a warning to potential academics who want to enter the hell ring. Not that dramatic. So I graduated from college in December 2018 with a bachelor's degree in English, a minor in philosophy, and a creative writing concentration. I had several professors strongly encourage me to apply for graduate school, and having no drive or ambition of my own, I thought, yes, excellent, I'll do that. I was president of an honor society, working a job in the department, getting to maintain a 4.0 GPA, and yet I decided, yes, I must apply this semester, less time, fall broken from my bleeding fingers, and shatter. 2 problems with this. 1, I didn't super know what I wanted to study, and 2, I didn't super have a plan B. I was torn between a medieval literature degree and a creative writing MFA because I've never been marketable, practical, or sensible. After painstaking back and forth, I finally decided on the MFA because, and I quote, I would like to become a writer, by which, of course, I mean I would like an MFA. It is a miracle that no one hit me in the face. A shame, too. Spending most of my baby writer life meant that I didn't have much by way of portfolio, so I kind of had to cram what I had into the Word requirements, write 6 to 8 different statements of purpose, and cough up $650-ish for application fees. If you're gonna scream now. The day before I graduated, I had submitted all of my applications, and there was nothing to do but wait. And wait. And refresh Grad Cafe, a website in which other applicants can fester and speculate on their impending doom, and watch results come in live. You can know whether you've been rejected before you get an email from the college, which doesn't help or change anything, but it does get your blood pressure up. So my first rejection comes in January 29th, and it sucked. I was in the parking lot of a doctor's office. Bad day. It was one of my top picks, and I knew it was going to be competitive, so I was telling myself, well, that one you knew was competitive, and there's 7 more to go, and, you know, not all of them are going to accept you, and, you know, we just gotta hold out hope. Shock of shockers, my temp job ended. What? I know, it was temporary. I'm amazed. So I'm at home, refreshing Grad Cafe and waiting, and the next rejection came in, and the next one, and the next one, and during this process, I was frantically trying to cobble together a plan B. I had very little money saved, very little idea of what I wanted to do with my life beyond the vague notion of graduate school. I was running through my savings with the whole not having a job thing and trying to write a fantasy novel which would, one day, end up in an electronic dumpster. I patchworked a part-time job living, as you do in this economy, and waited as one day, finally, the last rejection came, a dull splat on the battlefield of my ambitions. It wasn't that dramatic, I knew it was coming. April 11th, my dreams are dead. Insert a few months of self-indulgent depression here, towards the end of which I started thinking, well, I won't let it get me down. I'll apply again. It's completely normal, by the way, to apply to grad school a couple times before you get in. That's kind of to be expected. But after a few months, let's say about August, the smoke had kind of cleared, and I realized a couple of things with time plus distance. 1, my sample was not very good. Like I said before, Baby Writer Gloria was all about writing a novel, so I wasn't really good at writing short stories, and so I don't know why, when it came time to present some of my best work, I was like, oh, I'll write some short stories and send those. Time. I just didn't give myself enough time, and there were a lot of amateurish mistakes in those stories, and yeah. 2, I joined a critique group with Hannah and Crystal, and we were working on our novels together, that being the fantasy novel, which is now in an electronic dumpster. While that novel did end up in an electronic dumpster, I did learn a lot from it, and I improved. I also joined a short story group with Hannah and Micah, and got better at writing short stories. Basically, I got better at writing in the span of 4 months than I had in the span of 3 years. The third thing I learned is that I have absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life. At all. And the closer it came to opening up new applications for grad school, the more nervous I got. So my creative writing was pretty rough when I graduated from college. I had the very, very fatal flaw of walking into a fiction seminar and thinking that I was hot shit. Professors had been telling me I was one of the strongest writers in the room. I was stewing in ego, basically, and you don't improve when you stew in ego, you stagnate. The only way to really get rid of that pungent, egoistic film is to divorce yourself from the context in which it thrives. In other words, I've been in school since I was 4. And all of my accolades have been tied to school since I was 4, and I don't know how to be a person outside of school. So over the next few months, I started being a person outside of school. I started working out, going to therapy, eating better, saving money, like my Rocky montage of eating lentils and lifting a 5-pound dumbbell. And I started trying to ask myself what I really wanted from, life. And not that you ever have to decide what you want, but what direction to go in. Okay, I know I want to write. I've been writing since I was a kid. It's just kind of what I do. I like to read. I like working with books. I started getting into reading like I haven't read since I was a kid, 2 books a week. I'm in and out of the library every single Friday. And I love to learn. I've always loved to learn. I started applications again, completely turned off to MFAs, and I can't claim this has nothing to do with that I got burned, but I did realize the very, very important and obvious lesson that you do not need an MFA to be a writer. Like, you don't need a college degree, you don't need to take any classes, you don't need a high school diploma or a GED. You need the ability to read and the capacity for learning. And my mentality that writer equals MFA program, I think, was holding me back in so many ways, not just with regards to my art, but with regards to like being a reasonably good person. So I wrestled with an MA in literature for a while. All I needed to do was draft a statement of purpose because I had my GRE scores already that were still good. I have a sample that's ready to go, like an academic sample. You know, I just kept not doing it. And it's due next week and I haven't done it. And at some point, when you haven't done something and you haven't done something that's not technically hard to do, you have to ask yourself why. And I think I just don't want to. I'm not applying this year for a few reasons. For a lot of reasons, but mostly because of this one recurring motif, this glistening thread throughout this really self-indulgent and nonsense tale. I applied to grad school in the first place because I didn't know what to do, and I thought that I could cling to academia as a ways of figuring that out. I had no other idea what to do. No, like, goals at all. Like, nothing. Like, no personal goals, no career goals, no relationship goals. Graduate school was never going to fix my aimlessness. It would have given me something to do for 2 years and then 8 years, and then, you know, if you can find an adjunct job. But I'm the only person who can decide what I want to do, and so I need to do that. So what do I want to do? And I've been thinking about this lately, and I know I want to move. I live in Texas. I have lived in Texas since I was born. It is very hot, I'm very stinky, and I'd like to leave. Get a job, pick up some new hobbies. Generally, I figure out what I want from life before I go barreling down a PhD program and pop out the other end like 35 and aimless and directionless and kind of tired. And I might end up wanting to go to grad school. I don't know. I've been messing with the idea of like going to librarian school for librarians and librarianing. That seems something that I would be working with books, working with people, quiet, no one talk to me. I've been writing a lot more and a lot better than I have in ages, which feels really good. Working on a novella, mostly writing short stories, publishing a mini chapbook soon. Ooh. But yeah, if I decide that grad school is for me, then grad school is for me and I can go later, but there's no rush to do it now. And that's the thesis. I'm putting it in the conclusion because I learned nothing from my English degree. I'm going to try not to rush things. It's going to take some time. That's really all I have. I'm almost out of tea, so like I'm emotionally out of it. Links to everything you could possibly desire in the description below. I am publishing a mini chapbook soon, and the theme is Murder Girls. It comes out on Valentine's Day because I know what's romantic. Till next time.